This
all of
conference will now be recorded.
mute your mics, and only when I ask questions, very few, like Nikhil can put on their mic, Aditi and Pushmit, few people can put on, or Nikhil can decide who else. Okay, very few people when I ask questions. So further, if you have doubts, you can type this doubt at one place, and one person can ask me the doubts. Okay, that will be fine. Okay. So I'm starting today. So today we have planned for measure phase. Initially we have planned for 5:30 to 8 o'clock, but it is too hectic because since morning I have been doing this, many webinars. So I'm feeling headache as well as, so I feel 5:30 to 6:30 we will do the measure phase. As I've already planned that measure phase can be in two sessions, like today one session, and we can have another session on next week. And today 5:30 to 6:30 I'll be covering the main points of measure phase. I know that you all are aware about measure phase, but I would like to give you the no I'd like to emphasize the main points of measure phase. And at 6:30 we are lucky today that Mr. Vasudevan, the CEO of QTNT Singapore, it's a global certification body for Six Sigma, one of the pioneers of Six Sigma certification bodies. So Vasudevan has agreed to join us at 6:30. I think Mr. Dhaval also will join us on 6:30. So 5:30 to 6:30, let me cover the measure phase main topics of measure phase. Then 6:30, let us hear Mr. Vasudevan, and 7 o'clock we can finish. And next week we can plan for the measure phase, the second session of measure phase. Okay. So define phase, I have seen all of you are well aware about the define phase, except one thing I said, that problem statement. I have explained you last time problem statement, how to write a problem statement. Writing a problem statement is very important. You know why? Because you are doing project in a team. So when you write a problem statement, all of your team members are very clear about what is the problem. When I say what is the problem, I mean the numerical terms of problem, because sometimes we do a project for reducing the rework. Now reducing the rework is a problem, and that problem should have a numerical quantity for that problem. For example, right now I have a rework of 5% or 5,000 ppm. No, sorry, 50,000 ppm. When you say 5%, you multiply into 10,000, it becomes the ppm, parts per million. So I have 5% rework. That means 50,000 ppm. So now I know that my current rework is 5%, and I have seen this from the last 1 year rework data. So first, from 1 year rework data, I have found that we have a rework of 5% or 50,000 ppm in a particular process. And because of this, we are losing a money of, for example, 10 lakhs per annum to the organization, or 50 lakhs per annum to the organization, or maybe 10 million rupees, 10 million to our organization. So when you write this statement very clear, three things are required. What is the problem? That means 50,000 ppm, 5% rework. That is my problem. Now, since when it is happening? It is, I have seen it last 1 year. And what is the money impact? 50,000, 50 lakhs per annum is the money impact. So when you write these three things, everyone in the team is clear. What is my objective of this project? Now tell me, what is a project? Anybody can tell me what is a project? Somebody can put on your mic and tell me what is a project. Hello, am I audible?
A clearly defined activity with some start and end.
Set of activities that need to be performed within specific time.
Okay, so we can define in many ways, but I will say a project is nothing but a problem assigned to a team for solving. So a project starts with a problem. Okay, so a project, a Six Sigma project is nothing but a problem assigned to a team to solve. So we have lots of problem in a factory. When you do the first step of selection of problem is brainstorming for the problem. As I said that I used to be a QC judge for quality circle projects for CAI. So when they present us, the first thing is we have certain marks given to them each phases. So first phase is problem selection. So problem selection is a very important role in Six Sigma, because if you are identifying a wrong problem to select, then your Six Sigma efforts are waste. So Six Sigma project is nothing but a problem assigned to a team. Can I take a call? Very important call. Sorry for that. Very, very important call. Hello. Yeah, fine. I am in a meeting. Can you explain me very fast? Okay, I'll call you around 8:30. I'll call you. Okay. Right, I'll call you at 8:30. Right. Tomorrow there is a Kaizen presentation also by CII, so that's why they called me. So what is a project? A project is a problem assigned to a team for solving. Okay, so when team is there, so every member of the team should know what is the problem that I am going to solve. So problem statement is very, very important. Then comes the goal statement. Once you know my problem is 50,000 ppm, 50,000 ppm, 5% rework is my problem. Now I want to reduce this rework, or I want to eliminate this rework, or I want to eliminate this rework. So my goal is to eliminate this rework. What is the current state? 5% or 50,000 ppm. So now I am want to either bring it back down to a 1%, 2%, or I want to eliminate. So mission is also clear. So problem statement, mission statement is very, very important in a define phase. Now we are coming to the measure phase. So in the measure phase, these are the major steps we do. One is develop as is process map. You know what is process map or flowchart. Then second most important thing, finalizing CTPs and CTQs. Anybody can tell me what is CTP and CTQs?
CTQ is critical to quality, and CTP
And
is
CTP is critical to process.
You are aware
Critical
about it.
process.
Nice. So CTP and CTQ, we will also say these things into other way that we also call key process output variables, KPOV, key process output variables, or CTP we also say that KPIV, that means key process input variables. So in the measure phase, we are finalizing CTQs and CTPs. See, we say it measure phase. So what are we measuring? What are we measuring? What are we measuring now? What are we measuring?
Variation.
Process variation.
Absolute of what? Process variation of what?
Of the improved process. Process variation of the
Process
improved
variation
process.
of the CTQs and CTPs. Understood? In the measure phase, We are measuring the process variation of the CTQs and CTPs. Understood? So this is what we have measuring means what are we measuring? We are measuring the current state. There is a common say that carpenters say measure twice, cut once. Measuring phase is very, very important, because if you are taking a wrong measurement, your whole project is gone wrong. So measure phase is very, very important. And what are we measuring? First thing, we have to identify the CTQs and CTPs. Where will we get the CTQs and CTPs? In the process flow chart. If you understand the process flow chart very well, you will identify why we are doing process flow chart. Flow chart, we are making this flow chart because we want to identify the data points of CTQs and CTPs. Where do you get the data collection of CTPs and CTQs? Because in the flow chart, there is a one particular symbol where we can get the data collection symbol. So those are the point where we have to, I will just very quickly take you to the flow chart also. And then once we finalize CTQs and CTPs, third step is planning for data collection. And then little bit statistics and all I will teach you. I don't know whether I can tell you about statistics, and then process capability studies. I think these two things we will take in the next session. We'll go to the process mapping. I have explained this to you last time. Let me quickly go. I have explained you about a tea making process and variation in this also. So now remember this slide. This is very, very important slide for a Six Sigma personnel. So what is gist of Six Sigma? The gist of Six Sigma says that the quality of output Y, or the variation in output Y, depends upon the variation in process parameters. So it depends upon the from the process parameters and input parameters. Okay, understand this, because your complete project is from here. Can you see my mouse moving? See here, quality of output, that means CTQ. We will, as a engineering student, chemical engineering student, output, we always refer output as Y, and input are X's. So what are the X's we have? We have quality of inputs. That means quality of inputs means quality specifications of the input. For example, you are mixing two. Very simple. When you first time enter into lab of +1, when you are learning +1 near the 11th standard, you might have done some lab experiments, isn't it? So your chemistry lab is there. You might have gone there, and what you do, you mix two components. No, I don't know exactly, because I am not a chemistry student. I was a physics student. So in chemistry, I also did my chemistry, some experiment in chemistry in my +1. So we are mixing two components and we are taking output of another one. If you use the burette, pipette and all, what we are doing actually, we are actually measuring the inputs. That input is in a specified quantity. So when you say quality of parameter inputs, that means what is the specified quantity of input, what are the specifications of that input, and two inputs are mixed together to get some output. And after that, that output also specification we measure. We may take the total quantity weight of that particular output. Okay, so understand this. So output parameters are called CTQ, input parameters are called CTPs. Input parameter includes quality of input parameters include quality of quality specification of input and process parameter. Okay, when you say process parameter, for the example, in the chemistry lab, when we mix two things in a test tube, we shake it, isn't it? So the shaking is also a process parameter, and we say that more you shake, the more you get the better result. So we may specify that shake for 1 minute. That may be a process parameter. Okay, so any process, the process parameter also very, very important. Okay, so just a question, when we say y is a function of x1, x2 and x3, we mean y as, Who can say this answer?
Quality.
Quality of output.
Quality of
Quality
Quality
of
of
output.
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 Quality of output. Good. Okay. Now, why process mapping? Well, you know that. I am not going to tell this process mapping and all. But see this KPOV. KPOV means key process output variables. When I say variables, I am going to tell you variables ka meaning, because this is very, very important. As a Six Sigma practitioner, you should understand what is this variable. Can anyone tell what is variable? It is about the what do you say, data type of data we are using. We get two types of data: variable data, attribute data. Okay, so it is always good when you get variable data than an attribute data. A Six Sigma professional always look for variable data, not a attribute data. Okay, so key process output variables, key process input variables, or CTPs. Okay, next flow diagram, you know this. I'm not going into detail, but let me come to this slide. We have two levels, process flow chart. One is high level and another one is detailed. So in Six Sigma, we need to go for the detailed process flow. Now, we discussed a tea making process. Let us make a flow chart for tea making process. Okay. So first is we boil the water, we add leaves, we add milk, we add sugar, then we check the taste, then we drink tea. Okay. Now, what is this simple in flowchart?
So it
It's
defines
logical if or
Inspection.
else.
a condition.
Decision, isn't it? Condition or decision. So you know this is a basic start and end symbol, that is rounded rectangle. Then a rectangle is called activity, and then we have a decision making checkpoints. This is very, very important. Normally we make a flowchart, but we should take care. This is very, very important. Why? Here is a data collection point. We get data here. We get how many times we have reworked. So once check taste, if check taste is okay, we drink the tea and then end. But what if this taste was not good? Then what will happen? Then if it is not okay, then again we will check what is wrong, whether we have to add sugar, whether we have to add milk, whether we have to add leaves. Now, another important point. Whenever the arrow is going back, that place is also of your important for a Six Sigma professional. Understand, when the arrow goes back, that means there is a rework. Whenever there is a arrow is going back, that is a point where rework can occur. That is a point where you can take the data collection point. Okay, so flowchart is not a simple chart what you make. Flowchart has some meaning, and flowchart has an important role in measure phase, because you know where is my data point and who is responsible here, and I know to whom this data collection, when you say data collection plan, so we write, okay, what is the sample size? I can, if you study the process flowchart well, if you're expert in your process, you will know how many data I should sample it for. Okay, so please take care. Don't make simple flowchart. Flowchart has a very important role, and you should know where, how to read the flowchart. Understood? Okay. Now, what we have to do? We have to identify the following: the process output, identify value-added activities, key process input variables, all these things. Like for example, what is a key process input? Always try to mention in very clear specification. Key process input variable or CTP. This is my CTP. Tea leaves sugar 2 tablespoons. This is a specification. Now you can bring more specification, like whether it is Tata tea or Lipton, whatever it may be. You can specify even more. The more you specify, the more less the variation of the process. So 2 tablespoons. Now you know, if my tea is not tasty, when I want to analyze my inputs, so I have a specification so that I can check whether the people are doing, my person who is making the tea in my shop is putting the tea in the input right way. I can check this. I can validate the root causes. If my tea is not tasty, that means one of the root causes may be that he is not putting 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I can validate here. When I go for data analysis, I can validate here. Okay. Temperature of water when leaves to be added at least 85%, 85 degrees Celsius, something like that. So you should be not only making process flow chart, but also making the KPIVs and KPOVs very specific. Now, another important, very important aspect of flowchart is, see, this is a process. When I was in Air Force, we did a project, in the hydro boosters, which is used in helicopter. So we had some problem and we rectified it. So now this is a flowchart for my process flow. If I want to explain my process to you, I need to explain a lot. But if I want to do the same process to explain to you as a Six Sigma professional, I just give you the process flowchart. So everything will be very clear to you because we use a same common language. Now, a picture worth 1,000 words. One picture worth 1,000 words. So when you write this, when you show this process flow chart to someone, you don't have to explain. If he is a 6 month professional, he will understand this process by seeing the process flow chart. And if I put a person who is expert in process flow chart to a new process, he can very well see this. And further, what I will do, I will give a further list of specifications. These two things are enough for an expert person to go. So if I go to any factory, many of the time when I go for a consultancy, people are apprehensive. They ask, what experience you got in this chemical industry? What experience you got in electrical engineering? What experience you got in banking? So this is what I said in my first lecture, that ISO 9001 made things generic. This is the generic. Generic thing means whether it is service, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is chemical, whether it is any organization, the output is produced through process. So focus on process. Understood? So when you are clear about the process, so you also be expert in process, not the product. Product is output. If you are expert in the process, and if you didn't know how to identify the process, if you know how to study a process, you are become masters. Wherever you go, within 2 days, you just ask them, show me the process flow chart. Enough. Don't have to explain everything. Just see the process flow chart. Nowadays, people make very creative process flow chart. I have seen in the QC quality circle projects, they make pictures. They make pictures of each process and then put it in a flow. That is also innovative way. Okay, many ways people do, but I found this as a very simple and very easy to understand. But you can always have your innovative way of presenting a process, explaining things to you, things to the evaluator or the top management. Okay. Now, this quality tool helps Six Sigma practitioner to identify the data collection point for critical process inputs and process parameter. Who can answer this? Somebody can answer so that I understand that. Good. So I can understand that you are not sleeping. You are not sleeping now. You are not getting bored now. I think all of you can put on your mic and say no.
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Is it interesting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
So
sir.
you
yes,
are getting
sir.
something
Yes,
extra.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. Very good. I'm
Yes,
very
sir.
happy because very rarely I get people like you to teach, because I don't have to go for a very basic. I have to give you only many most important points. My role is to add value to your knowledge. Okay. Right. Sorry, just a minute. Now benefits and all I don't have to cover. I will just give one slide to you. See, this is finalize CTQs and CTPs. In the measure phase, you are finalizing CTQs and CTPs. I will give you one example of the project, then you will be very clear about this. Most of the people, why they are not able to do the project properly, because this is the step. CTQ or CTPs, they are not able to identify. Okay, now CTP, the thumb rule of CTP selection is, now CTP you should have a specification like, for example, oven temperature 200 degrees Celsius. Okay, I already got. Now thumb rule for CTP selection. Now if you're doing a project, a very new project which is unknown, the problem is unknown, so then choose maximum CTPs. Sit a brainstorming, then brainstorm what should be the causes. You just brainstorm what could be the causes and take maximum CTPs. Okay, if you have low process knowledge. But if you have very good process knowledge, you can select 5 to 10 CTPs. And you have very high process knowledge, select only 1 to 5 CTPs. Okay, because in the Six Sigma project, what you are doing, you are defining the problem, then you are coming to measure phase. In the measure phase, you are putting maximum CTPs so that you know which process is varying more, which CTP is varying more, which process parameter is not followed thoroughly. So that is the culprit you want to identify. So for that, you try to have maximum. So in your project also, if you are willing to go for a certification, I need project from you. So in that case, your project, few things I am very, very particular for that: problem statement, mission statement, CTPs, CTQs, specifying it, and then explaining. So CTPs is very, very important for your CTP, CTQ is very, very important for your project. Now see, this is the thing. Okay, now you have a process, now you have an output. Now this is called CTQ. In Aditi's project, I have seen that her CTQ was rework. Rework can also be a CTQ. Okay, because we are trying to, what we are facing to remove, solve. So that is a CTQ. The project CTQ is rework. Now what is the base data? Around 5% or 6%, something. Okay, now comes the process inputs. Now process inputs have x1, x2, whatever it may be. Now this is CTPs, this is CTQ. So you may have, now see this graph. In a project, you may have one CTQ or two CTQs or three CTQs. But try to have only one or two CTQs, because you cannot solve a problem, so many problems together. CTQ is your problem. So you cannot solve so many CTQs. So most importantly, you can have either one CTQ or two CTQs in a project. Try to have only two CTQs, one or two, not more than that. So when you measure the CTQs, try to have only one or two CTQs. But CTPs, you can have many. Okay, so you can have CTP X, you consider this as one of the CTP. You have so many inputs now, so many inputs, you consider this as one of the CTP. You consider this as one of the CTP, this as one of the CTP, and you don't consider this as CTP is critical. You have how many inputs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or n number of inputs. But in the n number of input, your process knowledge will help you to identify those CTPs which are more critical. So if you identify this, it is well and good. So maybe I always suggest people to identify at least 15 CTPs. 15 CTPs, because you will learn. You will learn now, you will analyze, try to connect a relation between, see what is actually we are doing. We identify CTQs and CTPs. Now what we will do, we will try to find a relation between these two. We will try to find a relation between these two. We will try and relation between these two. I will explain you when I set the data collection plan. Okay. Now this is for this slide. Now let me take you to now another example. See, for example, this was my Air Force project, and we have taken 4 CTQs, but everything for one particular project. So that is why I have taken this 4. one particular hydro booster cases we had. So this is three kinds of problems. Like one is internal leak. So the as per specification, the internal leak should be less than 1000 cc per minute. Piston travel, the specification. Now these two understand. See, you find the difference between these four CTQs. Can you explain me what is the difference here?
So the first two are continuous data and the last two are attribute.
Very good, very good, very good. So this is also very, very important. Why? So you are aware about the data. Again, once again, I will just explain you the data because that is very, very important. Now, okay. Now let me go to the next So now this is MSA. You know what is MSA, measurement system analysis? I'm not going to take MSA now. You know about MSA? Somebody please give answer.
No, sir.
No, sir.
MSA you are not okay. MSA I will
No,
take
sir.
next. Okay, MSA I will take later, not now. But MSA is also very, very important. I will cover you that MSA. Okay, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, just a minute. This one. Let me check what are the planning for data collection. Okay. Now, once you have identified, so we will take this slide also today. Then we will cover next thing. Okay. So once you identify your CTQs and CTPs, what is next? Next is planning to take the data collection. Okay. So let me just give you what is data collection plan, what is data and information. So a data collection plan is something like this. You have to define what is CTQ. Now you write the data type, then data type, and then you have to see the size. You want to collect data. So you must say how many data, how randomly you want to collect, and from where, how to collect, and who is. This is very simple data collection plan. Enough. This is enough. Not to have much data collection plan. But let me tell you what is data. Before that, let me ask you, what is data and what is information? Somebody explain me this. Somebody can put on the mic and explain what is data, what is information.
The data is a measurements, while
Okay.
information is something from which we can deduce something.
Very good. In a very simple way, we can say data is record of actual observations. Okay. That means for a cricketer, it means run, average, wickets, etc. For a quality means rejection rate, rework, output specification. All these are kind of data. Okay. Data and facts are backbone for every Six Sigma projects. Okay. Now, without facts, problem solving are reduced to guessing game. I said that day also, we have two brains, left and right. We need to use both, the logical brain and the creative brain. So the logical brain always talk about data. So when you collect data and come to a information, then we will use our creative mind to develop something new. Okay. But both ways we are required. The data is the backbone, data and facts are backbone of problem solving. Now comes, see, this also you know. Now I have given, we are a manufacturing axle shaft. For example, we are manufacturing some chemical. We are manufacturing shampoo. Let us take an example of chemical factory. We are manufacturing shampoo, Chick shampoo, very famous shampoo. In 10-15 years back, he has created, I think Ramalingam is name. I don't know the company name. The Chick shampoo you heard about? Chick shampoo actually came with a very innovative marketing strategy, making sachets, small 1 rupee Chick shampoo.
Right, sir.
And that is one case study that say that there is a book called fortune is at the bottom of the pyramid. Normally people overlook that the villagers, the major consumers. So this person has come out with a 1 rupee sachet, and then later many companies did this. Surf Excel also came with 5 rupee pack. So that was a marketing strategy. So similarly, we are manufacturing shampoo, and there are certain specifications for the shampoo. Can you explain me what could be the specification? I am not expert in that. Any specification? Can you tell me a shampoo for a product? Can someone define a specification for a shampoo?
Consistency.
Consistency. Very good. So in the consistency, let us take consistency as a one of the measure, the CTQ. Okay. Now, this consistency, how we will measure? Is it a continuous data or discrete data? I think it consistency can be a continuous data. So let us come back to this example again. So I have some product which is in diameter. So I get this output of data like this, 19.1, 19.5, something like that. Now let us take another example. I am a manager of a 3-star hotel, and I am interested in number of guests checked in per day. So what will be the outcome of the data? It is like 100 guests coming in a day, 110 guests coming in a day, 90 guests coming in a day, 105. Okay. Now let us consider another example. I am doing a survey, customer satisfaction survey. So what could be the output of that? It can be poor, average, good, excellent. Okay. And then there is another survey where every 10 years we have that census data. Next to 2021, it is going to happen in India. It's a big exercise, huge exercise. Every 10 years it used to happen. So when the enumerator come to you, and they will have a form like what is your marital status, which house you do live, whether you are living in a pakka house, kacha house, or now how many members in your family. All this data will be there. Your age, your religion, everything will be collected, and one question may be marital. So in that, what kind of survey form you may fill? If you ask the marital status, you will fill as single, married, divorced, whatever it may be. Okay. So I have explained you 4 types of situations. Now see, let us different situation, different kind of data. Is there a classification of data? I know that you are aware of this, but still I want to emphasize the major point. Okay. So there are 2 kinds of data. One is quantitative, qualitative. In quantitative, we have continuous and discrete. So what are the things? Continuous, discrete, and in attribute you have nominal, ordinal. So basically these are the 4 kind of data. These 2 are classified as qualitative. There is no number in this. Here we have a numerical things assigned to it. So in numerical we have 2 kind. One is whole data like 100 guests. There cannot be 100.5 guests coming in a day. You have to have only 100 guests or 99 guests, a complete number. Okay. Similarly, how many students passed? A complete number. And continuous will have this fraction. Now there are another kind of data, so ratio, nominal, all these things. We don't have to go that. This kind of data is used for the PhD students when they do research. That is different. But for Six Sigma, this is enough. For Six Sigma, this is enough. You have to identify nominal, ordinal, discrete, continuous. See, there is an order of this data. You know, at the lowest level, we have nominal data. Then next order level is called ordinal data. Next level is discrete data, and the most powerful data is continuous data. Please make sure when you are doing any project, you try to get maximum continuous data. Okay. Try to get maximum continuous data for your project. Because there is another thing I want to tell you. If you have a continuous data, you can convert that continuous data into a discrete data also, and this data you can convert into so the discrete data, then if it is a discrete data, if you want to change this discrete data into nominal data, it is ordinal data you can do, and then ordinal data can be converted into nominal data also. But a nominal data cannot be converted into ordinal data. An ordinal data cannot be converted into discrete data. A discrete data cannot be converted into continuous data. But you can convert from higher to lower. You cannot convert from lower to higher. So the most powerful data is continuous data. Okay. So always try to take continuous data. Now you know this. Let me skip it. Now tell me once again. This is, let me conclude now. Why now you have CTQ and you have CTP. Now you may have CTQ as a continuous data, and you may have CTQ as a CTP as a attribute data. See the situation. This is why this is very important. Why I am mentioning in the data collection plan what is variable, what is continuous, what type of data is CTQ, what type of data is CTP. Why are we mentioning it? Because your analysis tool will depend upon this. For example, you got CTQ as a continuous data, and you have one CTP which is also a continuous data. Now tell me which tool you will use to analyze. Please switch on your mic and answer me this. You have CTQ as continuous data and CTP also as continuous data. So which tool will you use to analyze it?
Scatter plot.
Okay, very good. Right.
Statistics, sir.
Yes, scatter plot is one. And what is next? Scatter plot
Correlation.
related to scatter
Of
plot. Yeah,
statistics.
absolutely correlation or regression.
Linear regression.
Linear regression. Very good, very good. Now tell me, your CTQ is a continuous data and CTP is an attribute data. Which tool will you use to analyze?
Box plot.
Box plot.
Box plot.
Okay, box plot can be for a variable data, but sorry, discrete data. Statistically, which tool can be used?
Pareto.
No, Pareto is for the discrete data. Now, I want to make you, histogram is also for continuous data. I'm not talking about single one. I'm talking about relation of two. You see, in Six Sigma, problem solving project, doing a project, what are you doing? You are finding out the relation between CTQ and CTP also. You are trying to find out the variation within as well as the relation between
Logistic regression.
logistic regression the other way. Yeah, anyway, you have mentioned that logistic regression is other way. When CTQ is attribute and CTP is continuous, you use logistic regression. Now, I'll tell you ANOVA. Have you heard about ANOVA? One way ANOVA, two way ANOVA, MANOVA.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. ANOVA is a tool when you have continuous CTQ and discrete, sorry, not discrete, attribute CTP. That means you want to identify the worker, three employees are working in three people are working in a process. You want to identify between the variation between these people. You use ANOVA as a tool. Okay, I will take you these tools in the later session. I think today it is enough. Anybody have any doubt till so far?
No, sir.
It is clear. You got some value addition.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think can anybody tell Double Sir has joined or not?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Till
Not yet.
now, Tawal sir is not with us.
Okay, so anybody can connect him and ask to and because I have requested also. I have put a WhatsApp request also. Let me see whether he has checked it.
Sir, you had asked me to inform him, so even I told him. He said that he'll be joining at 6:30.
Okay, I said his message is there. Little network issues are there. Let me just a minute. Let me call and ask him. Okay.
Sure, sir.
So far it's okay. No, just we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes. Then I will request Vasu sir also join, and then we can introduce and we can hear it. It will be really, really great to hear Mr. Vasudevan. And I am really blessed that I learned Six Sigma from him in 2005. And the way he has motivated us, now it has become my career. So that was my starting point. And it's a wonderful person, Mr. Vasudevan. And I know that you will be really, it is a pleasure to hear him. Because he has seen the complete world. Means he has seen the big factories. He always been a consultant for the big companies, and he was in KPMG. And then in 2005 he started his company, and now QTNT is there in UK, Malaysia, Singapore, and more than 10,000 to 15,000 people have already taken different kinds of certification from QTNT. So it's a global company, and Mr. Vasu is a global consultant, and it is always pleasure to hear him. What is the global scenario and what is happening in outside? What are the latest thing? Even when I was, I just suggested Vasu sir that I am giving a no seminar session to you. He has given me many inputs. So that is the kind of validation he is going to give us. So let me just wait. Let me call Mr. Dhaval sir, and then we
Sir,
can.
Nikhil sir is calling Dhaval sir.
Okay, he's calling. Okay, okay, good.
Yes, sir.
So really, we are really no, blessed today, and I'm really thankful to Mr. Vasudevan that he has taken time from his. Getting a time is very, very important thing from Mr. Vasu. He is so busy. Getting today is half an hour session is we are blessed. Okay. And so far, any doubt, anything else in my next session? What are the things I should focus? Can you, if you give me the feedback, I can prepare for the next session also.
Sir,
Any else?
I have one
Sir,
question,
I
sir.
wanted.
Yeah. Tell me. One person at
Sir,
a time.
in a previous lecture, sir, you have shared screenshots that you have make one application in which we have submit our details, and sir, any further
No. I will do one thing. I have further made it. Let me show that also now for you. Okay. In the meanwhile, I can show you that. Okay. It will be
I
clear to
think
you.
sir Vasudevan sir may be joined.
Vasudev sir has joined. Let us wait for Dhaval sir also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So in the meanwhile, I am going to show you this platform. Okay. The platform which developed by both QTND and us. Okay. I'm just showing it. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, this is the Six Sigma project management software. Let me tell you, this is specifically designed for you people. Based on Mr. Dhaval sir's feedback, I had a discussion with Mr. Vasudevan also, and he was also very happy. So this is combinedly developed by QTNT and us. So this has taken consideration that to make a standardized project management software, so that you put this project into this, the all minimum requirement of a project is given here. You have to just enter the thing, and you can make a PPT of that, or PDF mainly PDF of that. You can share in LinkedIn, and you can also share the link of this in LinkedIn, so that anytime if you go for an interview, you can share this link. So then it is verified, and this project is going to be verified by me as master black belt, and another master black belt, Vasu sir also. Vasu sir is going to be signing it finally, approving this project, and one more black belt will be, 3 people will be evaluating this minimum. Now people like Dhaval sir and 4 more people will be also evaluating. So you get at least 4-5 people evaluating your project and putting their comment. So it makes a validation. So you can show this, because this is also important. Along with certificate is the first thing. Second thing is project to be shown. So this is one way where you can log in into this, and then so this is a wireframe. My development team is doing is, it will take 1 week more, but this wireframe I am showing you. So here you will put the project and all, and then when you create a project, see, you will get like this. Now project ID, it is automatically generated. This project ID further you can refer anywhere, and along with this project ID a link will be created, and anybody want to verify your project, you are going for an interview and you are showing that project and that person want to verify, you can just click on that link and we will send the verification to him. Yes, this project is done. So one person and the team and everybody can do this also for their name and their team. If we have 4 students, 3 students can do this separately also, same project, because a project is done by team, not individually. So all 3 people can do it. Then so this is define phase. I have shown you later. Now I will show you the measure phase. Now see, I said you CTQ and CTP is very, very important. So here you will put your describe CTP. You will just write a CTQ here. CTQ means your rework. So here rework, you can say it's a continuous and you will write the base measure. For example, 5% or 50,000 ppm. So write this. And then if you want to add another CTQ, add another CTQ, write this. And then CTP. So here 2 CTPs minimum you require, not minimum 1 CTP, but not more than 2 CTPs. And CTP you can add any number of CTPs. So first step of measure phase is this. Now here you can upload the graph. For example, if you want to do a project process flowchart, you select this process flowchart from this drop down menu and upload that graph, and you just write the description. Very, very important. See, when I am going to evaluate the project, I need description of every graph. It's not just you put a graph. No, you have to describe that graph. Interpretation, description, interpretation. These 2 things are very, very important. So you upload a process flowchart and then you add another. So then it can add, you can add all these things here. Okay, the minimum requirement I have put here. So you can also put other base performance. So all graph, for example, histogram. If you want to click histogram and write a description, upload the image and put it add another. So here you can save and proceed, and you can also preview and edit. Now comes to, now see what is, when you are doing in a PPT your project, you have to copy paste everywhere. Now when you do a data collection plan, for example here, if you click add a data collection plan, then what will happen? All your CTQs and CTP will come automatically, whatever you have filled. Okay, with the specification. Now you have to enter 2 things: sample size, like 40 samples and collected by 2. Here you have to enter, because all these things will come in your previous entered database. Okay, so you will write sample collected by sample 40 samples collected by Mr. A, samples like this. Okay, this is your data collection plan. Now then comes to analysis. Analysis may you have to put all the analysis, like what is Pareto analysis, cause and effect, and other analysis tool. All the analysis tool you can write here. Okay, keep on writing description, adding another you have. So the more number of tools you used, you get more marks. Okay, so this way also there is a evaluation criteria. Then everywhere you can preview and edit it. Now comes the last one. For example, now comes the analysis and the root cause verification. Yes, very, very important, root cause verification. So your root causes are CTPs, isn't it? So out of 15 CTPs, after doing all the analysis tools, you will write here, you will have a drop down here whether this root cause is significant or not significant. Most of the project I have seen is starting somewhere, ending somewhere. That is why I made this software, because you will not skip away from the CTPs and CTQs. Normally what happens, you start with a CTQ, end with some other CTQ. No deviation in the project also. So all the CTPs you have mentioned in the measure phase will come again here, and here after the analysis you will write whether it is significant, not significant. Now you will focus only on the significant deviations. Now you are finding brainstorming solution for what? That significant CTPs. Understood? Now once you do all this project, you will get a, after that if you make PPT PDF, you will get a PDF file of this that you can share everywhere, and this is internationally accepted way of doing project. So wherever you go, this will be recognized, and you will get a link also to this. So wait for another one, and that time Aditi has asked me a project template. Aditi, this is going to be a project template.
Sir.
If you
Okay,
fill
sir.
all, okay, so if you fill
Sir.
all these things, it becomes a, yeah.
So we can do that all the things Pareto analysis and graph in a Minitab.
Yeah, Minitab. After Minitab, you will get a copy graph, no? You will do Minitab, analysis and all you have to do, but you take the copy of that graph and paste it here. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. So, Nikhil, what about Dhaval sir? Hello.
Sir, he's on call. Sir is on call.
Okay. Right. So, I think it is, yeah, it is 6:30 only. We can wait another for 3-4 minutes because Dhaval sir has messaged me that his network, he has some network issue. Just a minute, and because let us introduce Vasu sir in a proper way, then only we'll hand over him. Okay. Any doubt you have? We have 3-4 minutes. If
Sir,
5
I
minutes,
have one
within
question, sir.
yeah, tell me. Okay, just a minute. If in 5
Uh,
minutes, if Dhaval sir is not able to join us, we will start with Vasu sir. But for 5 minutes, any questions you have, you can please.
Sir, may I ask? Hello?
Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question about the process flow. In the
Okay.
initial stages,
Hmm.
we follow all the steps in the process flow. But as
Okay.
we get experience, we start skipping the steps and making decisions on based on our experience. So is
Hmm.
experience a good thing or a bad thing? Because we start, overlooking the process flow.
No, experience are good thing, no doubt. But there is a tool called SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. So that SOP is to be followed, especially for critical thing. Now, with experience, what you can do is you can keep on improving the processes, SOPs. So the SOP is to be improved continuous manner. So use your experience to improve SOP and make it a new standard. So what is happening with people is they use very old SOPs, and after new things, new machines came and new process, new methods came, new technology came, and they are relying on the old process. So somebody with new experience may skip that process. But what is the right way is experience is very important and vital. But more important is you have to convert that experience into a particular standard and keep improving that standard. So this is what is lacking in a most of the organization. But there are systematic organization like Toyota. Best example is Toyota. It is called standardized work. They make new standards and make it as a standard again. Maybe you save 2 seconds for that. Maybe you save 2 seconds in that cycle time, but still they improve it and make it as a standard. And again, they make it as a standard, new improvement. So experience is good, but making new standards, SOP needs a continuous improvement. Okay. So whichever company is not doing a continuous improvement, they will be finished in another, earlier they used to be finished in 10 years. Now they will be finished in 1 or 2 years. Yeah. Anybody else?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any question?
Hello.
Yeah. Nikhil? Yes, Nikhil.
Yeah. I just had a talk with Dhaval sir. I think he has some network issues, sir. So he might be joining, but
Okay.
he has sent his sincerest apologies.
No
He
problem.
wanted
No problem.
to join,
So
but
let us start with
yeah,
who is
yeah.
going to introduce Vasu sir? I think Aditi told Kushmeet is going to introduce him.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now Krishna, you can just introduce Vasudevan sir and give Nikhil can give the presenter right to him. Okay,
Yes, sir.
please,
Yes.
Nikhil, you can give the presenter right to Vasudevan sir. Vasu sir, I'm really thank you that you have taken time for us. So now one of the students will introduce you. I have given your CV to her. So I am really thankful, and on behalf of the students, I really once again thank you for taking out time. So
Yep.
Kushmeet, please introduce Vasu sir to the students.
Sure, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Hi all. Hi all. Just a second. Are you all able to hear me loud and clear, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the most important thing. I'm sorry. I think I'm trying to get
Hello.
because I'm sorry. I'm not that familiar with GoToMeeting per se because
So
we
we are
use
able to
Microsoft
hear you,
Teams.
sir. We are able to hear you, and you can see a screen. But if you click on the screen,
Right.
you can see a screen to share. Nikhil has
Yes.
given the presenter, right?
Yes, I think I've seen that. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw
Okay.
that. I think I'm trying to get that PPT, which I had. Okay, maybe the page of 2. Okay, got it. Got it.
So what is the time in
Okay.
Singapore now, sir?
It's about 9:10. So are you guys able to see my screen, please? Hello?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, right. I thought I shared it.
Hello.
Yep.
Nikhil,
Okay.
can you help?
Yes, sir. I think you have joined through your browser.
Yes, that's what I did. So, okay. So are you able to see my screen or not?
No, sir. Now
No,
we
no,
cannot
sir.
see you. You have to log out and again log in.
Oh, is that
Applications.
so?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Download that
Yeah.
application.
Oh, you need to download
Otherwise,
that.
sir, if you
Yeah.
if you can say without screen also, that will be fine, sir.
I
But you
prefer
have
to show the
prepared some
screen. I
screen.
prefer some
So
screen. I
it is
prefer
better
to do
you
that.
log off, sir. You just log off and again log in. And during login, they will ask for the application. Download the application. You will download the application and double click that application, sir.
Oh, the same as same as Skype. Okay, good. Okay, got it,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please do
I
it,
will
sir.
give me a minute. Give me a minute. Yeah. So sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir. Fine.
I'm trying to leave the meeting. So,
So if you click on the screen, you can see leave. There is a
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah, 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 yeah. I have left the meeting. So, but the only thing is it's a bit slow, and I had some issue
okay.
here connecting.
Okay.
Can even somebody can even close my? I think make me log out as well. So,
Okay.
yeah. So let me now join.
Okay. Kushjit,
Yes, sir.
after
So
sir
should I
join, you can
introduce?
start
Yeah.
with, let him join, and then you
Yes,
can
sir.
introduce. I will ask that you will introduce him, and then we can give me. Then he will start. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any doubt you have further? You have 2-3 minutes more. Anybody else have any doubt?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So there are some questions from yellow belt students in a group that they have no idea how to use Minitab because in yellow belt no one can else define about how we can use Minitab software.
Okay, but then in that case, I will keep one session separately for Minitab. Let me discuss with Dhaval sir. Okay,
Yes,
we
sir.
will have one session, but let me continue with this. Now we have to go on measure phase. In the
Yes,
measure
sir.
phase, during some example, I will show you how to use Minitab. But a
Yes, sir.
Minitab separate session we can have later. Okay.
Okay, sir. After that, we can make a project like graphs and all.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Anybody else? Any question? So you were able to understand what I am talking. My speed is okay. My slides are visible, clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, will you be explaining about the process capability?
Yes, I will
Like,
explain. Now, Vasu sir has joined. Nikhil, can you make him presenter now? Yes, it's already. Sir,
I've
you
given
can share the
like
screen. So what we will do is,
Yeah.
now it's visible. Your screen is visible. So one of the students will be introducing you, sir. Then you can.
Will do. Sure, no problem.
Krishna, please introduce Vasu, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now, Mr. Raghavan Vasudevan is the founder and managing director of the company QT&T Consulting in Singapore. He is an entrepreneur focused on empowering professionals with business and IT process management initiatives, including quality management methodologies and frameworks such as Lean Six Sigma that are applied to all industrial sectors such as manufacturing services and IT or software. He has a total of 28 years of industry experience and has served several years in senior managerial capacity in several MNCs, which include P&O, Nedloyd Limited, BPL Sanyo, and Canadian High Commission. He has transformed QT&T as a local startup in the year 2006 to a global IT training and consulting organization and has successfully achieved a top-line revenue of $3 million. He has won Asia ATC of the Year award consecutively for the years 2018 and 2019 from Mile US for cybersecurity programs rollouts in Asia. He is a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certified and has trained over 20,000 professionals across the globe in efficiency improvements by implementing methodologies such as Lean Six Sigma, CMMI, ITIL, including trainings on latest technologies such as cloud cybersecurities to large MNC corporations. He has helped client organization towards optimization of resources and achieve huge cost savings on yearly basis. He has completed his graduation in BTech Electrical and Electronics Engineering and has secured several industry accredited certifications to his credit, including project management and Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certification. He has also been featured in Asia CIO magazine and has been ranked with top 100 CIOs for the Asia region during the year 2002 by Asia CIO. He has demonstrated his cost leadership management skills by implementing continual improvement culture and has successfully completed several improvement projects through that generated a cost savings of $1 million in a short span of 2 years. With this, I would like Mr. Raghavan sir to please share his experience and expertise on Lean Six Sigma with all of us.
All right. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for the introduction. I never expected that. It's going to be so long for me. First of all, are you able to hear me again? Sorry, I got in back again to you all. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Very good. Are you able to see the screen now? Clear.
Yes,
The
sir.
slide. The slide. Can I know verify what
Yes,
the
sir.
screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. All right. Thank you. First of all, I have to thank you all for it. And to be very honest, I'm really honored to be here today, connecting you guys virtually from Singapore. So I think Rajagopal, you asked me what's the time now. It's going to be 9:20 p.m. the night, but I look like it's bright day for me, and it's really with full energy that I'm here before you all. So honestly, I'm really excited to be part of it for next 20 minutes to talk about what exactly is happening around the world today, right? I think Aditi, ma'am, I'm hearing some echo.
Please switch off all mics. Please switch off all mics.
Yes, please. I think I hear some mic. All right, now it's clear. I'm sorry. Okay, cool. So typically, I'm here not to just to do some sales pitch or nothing like that, but I think it's high time for me to contribute something for you all, to bring in what the reality is today, the industry. And one thing I really want to congratulate you all to be part of this journey of excellence with Dr. Rajagopal. You're in a safe hands. Let me tell you this, and this is the truth I speak. Right, because we have been in this industry for last 30 years. In fact, I've been specifically in the industry for 30 years. I've gone through lots and lots of exposure to challenges, and I only got stuck at one point of time where I say there are too many challenges. How can I be smarter than being harder, right? So you guys have taken the right decision to be here today, and probably with Dr. Rajagopal, I'm going through this Six Sigma journey, all right? So this is the best part I really enjoy. And I said, Rajagopal, I'm there for you guys to definitely help you guys moving and into the next level of excellence. So to be, I mean, as I said, we have actually to QTNT, I mean, it's perceived as a global company. That's how I brought this company from way back 2005 onwards to where we are today. It's almost 15 years now, and based out of Singapore, headquarters in Singapore, blessed by Singapore government today. We have a very good brand here, and then we grew up and expanded our portfolio of services with specific to technology aligned as well, in UK, US, as well as in Malaysia, and predominantly a lot of India, a lot of corporates in India. We talk about the corporates like Godrej, Cadbury's, SAP, HP, you name it. A lot of IT companies too have gone through this journey of excellence. We call it Six Sigma journey. All right, so please rest assured these are some partial, client list which I can probably give you this, but this is just the beginning for us right now. This is where it is. So we ourselves QTNT realized it. I know we have gone through in the journey, but again, it's high time that we have to really quickly adopt and adapt to the changing trends today with the transformation. We call it, the keyword is transformations. I'm sure you guys are aware of what's happening around the world, and thanks to COVID, in one way, it has also probably triggered the need for it at much faster than what we would have thought about the transformation today. The entire business model for organizations has changed today. So today we all talk about the basic thing that every customer, right? You all are going to do something with keeping customer in mind, and that's what you've been taught, right? You got to be a chemical engineer, probably in few months' time, a certified graduate coming out of the institute. And what next? You got to join an organization. What next? You're going to probably be part of a project, a program where you're going to come out with some new product, or probably you can be part of the services, right? Or you can join a companies like pharma companies, or maybe whatever chemical engineers, maybe petrochemical industries or oil and gas. I mean, you call, name it, right? So you will be part of those organizations. But the problem here is the organizations are forced to move to a transformation journey today. There are many reasons to it, but definitely you all have to be aware of it, right? I know you've been learning all this with Six Sigma. I know Dr. Rajagopal has been talking about it. I think we're talking about the main objective, why Six Sigma, what is Six Sigma, and all that stuff. But today the reality is this is going to be the perfect time for you with these skills that you're going to adopt, and this is going to be really, really helpful for you to be part of the transformation journey. The two major transformation that's happening from a service industry per se, they call it as digital transformation. And from an industry, manufacturing and engineering, they call it as Industry 4.0. I don't know how many of you heard about it, but I'm sure you would have heard about it. And every industry is moving through transformation because the customer expectations have changed today as compared to what it was before. And for your information today, customer is a customer, but I think people talk about keeping customer in front of you and start doing things like maybe preparing a plan and coming out of the product or services. But today, now it's again changed to a consumer-centric approach rather than just customer. So please remember, there's one keyword in your project management. We call it a stakeholder, right? Stakeholder means somebody who can influence your actions, right? Decisions, right? So it's your stakeholder at the moment in your college is your teacher, is a stakeholder, internal stakeholder, right? And you are typically, you have a certification university probably tied up with somewhere, but that could also be a stakeholder. And your parents are a stakeholder too, who pays a tuition fees for you guys, right? Your hostel, and they can also be a stakeholder. So remember, the keyword is stakeholders. The industry today transformation that's happening today clearly defines who the stakeholders are going to be today for you to be successful. And keeping them in front of you is most important thing, or most important CTQ, I would say, from any organization or business. So today, you have to be more consumer centric than just be customer centric. So you, as an engineer or expert, you will work closely with the business side of the organization, and that way maybe you call him as an immediate customer, internal customer, but there is also another customer, say Unilever. Unilever could be a customer, but Unilever end of the day comes out with a product actually sells their products to the consumers like you guys. So it may come back to you. So please remember this very clearly. Prepare yourself, your mindset that you are going to be more consumer centric than customer centric. Please, this is something which I need to make sure you register this, right? So here the immediate word is you got to co-create the value, not just value creation. We call co-creation of value. These are the buzzwords that you come across everywhere today. Co-creation of value. What is value here? Value is nothing but your CTQs, the fulfillment of your CTQs in your Six Sigma language. You know what is CTQ, right? It's simple expectations, right? What is quality? Called critical to quality. Quality is just meeting those expectations. So fulfillment or meeting the expectation is as good as you are delivering value. But again, you as a service provider, maybe a partner for Unilever, you and Unilever will work together, co-create the value, or maybe you also can work with the consumer to understand what his real needs are. Three of you work together and come out with some product or a services, right? This is getting more complicated. Do you understand that? And the worst part is today's consumer, including you guys, want something that you like it to be available much faster. Do you all agree? And much cheaper. And most importantly, better than the one earlier, right? Take your mobile phone today, right? Will you accept something, a mobile phone without a touch screen today? No, nobody, right? So a lot of things are changing now. So today's world is changing towards a faster, cheaper, and a better. This is what the key is. So you have to be prepared. And here you go. And you are in the right space, the Six Sigma, because today all the industry says, you know what, the customer expectations earlier was to get the product. They're ready to wait for 2 weeks to get that. The speed to market, time to market, and speed to market has some difference to it. Again, sorry, again, some mic is, somebody has, oh, okay, thank you. So this is very important word you will come across. So whenever you think about doing a project, please make sure you keep this in mind that your solution could probably be useful for any company that probably may come in your placement for, for interview, placement, what do we call capacity recruitment. But impress them by telling them that, you know what, I've come out with something which can be probably introduced to the market much faster. And it's cheaper and it's better. That is exactly what you Sorry, I've been hearing a lot of echoes. Okay, now it's okay. Right. So Industry 4.0 initiative focus more on that. Please understand. And this calls for a lot of automation. In order to be faster, you got to really disrupt the way we do things. That's why it's called disruptive mode. So they want the processes, which is basically the first focus for Six Sigma, going to be process-driven approach. Where talk about the processes that you are going to come across, the way you do things. Process is all about set of activities which are actually structured in order to, activities are structured in order to deliver the objective, right? So that is what the process is all about.
Whose
And
mic
you got
is
to make
on? Please switch off the mic. Somebody's mic is on. Please switch off the mic.
Oh, can
Please
I?
take care. Your mic is.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, that's right. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So this is very, very important for you guys to understand the process aspect. And organizers think, or maybe you may also think that you are the right person today, right? You may be, because you're going to learn the Six Sigma. You know that you're going to learn something which is one of the good or best practices today that's followed in industry. Great. You are a person, and after doing Six Sigma, you're going to be the best person, the right person for the organization, right? But again, you got to integrate with the process, and that process has to be right. So you got to apply what you're going to learn today and apply and integrate with that process, and make sure that the process outcome is what the expectation of CTQ is all about, meets the requirement or expectations of the customer, right? And of course, now with Industry 4.0, they said, let's bring in technology. So technology is going to be the big enabler today. Please don't ignore technology. So try to look at certain things, areas where you can also bring in some technology to interface or integrate with this process and you, right? So it's very well said that today organization and business in Industry 4.0, you know what? We are expecting the right results, not just results. And the right results are going to be achieved only if we have the right people with the right process, with the right technology today or product. But people, process, and products are going to be the key today. So only then you will get the right results. All right. I think oh my goodness. All right. Right. So please make sure that you understand the basics. Manufacturing industries are going to be focused on 4.0. I still like to clarify that you guys have taken the very, very, very right decision today of getting into Six Sigma journey. And we at QTNT, don't worry, we will ensure that we will mold you to the extent where you can probably manage or create a perception by demonstrating the Six Sigma expertise to them. I mean, at least the minimum is green belt, and then eventually move to the black belt, right? And we do have master black belt, right? But at least even at the green belt level or black belt level, I'm very sure you'll be the perfect person for an organization today, keeping Industry 4.0 in mind. They are looking for the right person, right people with the right skills, so that you guys can go and look at those processes, make sure that the process is free of defects, and that's how the Six Sigma is going to help you. And there is also what we call lean, which is also brought in and which is going to be the game changer today, right? And it's been there quite a while for any companies today. If they really want to make it faster and reduce the so-called, we call cycle time of any product or the service delivery, then they adopt lean, for which the prerequisite is you need to have a Six Sigma applied, and so that makes the processes clean and they're able to deliver the output meeting the expectation. But it's taking some more time. When can you innovate some idea or maybe do something which you can probably reduce the time, and that's where lean comes in. So please understand the difference between lean and Six Sigma. A lot of opportunities do exist in lean and Six Sigma mode, and the combination of the two is going to be excellent, and we at QTNT offer you that, because the projects or programs are based on the customer needs in the market, and that is triggered, and these programs or projects may demand certain areas to be more lean focused, whereas some could be Six Sigma focused, or some could be the hybrid mode. So don't worry, we at QTNT will help you to make sure that your maturity level, the knowledge level, the expertise, skills, competency, whatever you call it, will be at par or maybe will be comparable to the industry standards or meeting the expectations of the business organization today. So that is what I want to really, really assure you, the kind of commitments that we at QTNT would give you on any of the program that you probably try to come in. So second thing, right? Do you understand the Six Sigma? Why Six Sigma being so popular today? I know you guys been recently. I mean, now I think probably today's session probably would be more of talking about the data, and we're hearing about it. Six Sigma brings you an approach called a data-driven approach. And Six Sigma is not a technology. It's not a process. It's just an approach towards managing your problems, right? You call challenges, but again, through a data-driven approach. And that's the beauty about Six Sigma. And Six Sigma develops scientific thinking culture within the organization or through the, that is the beauty again Six Sigma brings you in. And that differentiates you with those people who are not certified in Six Sigma, right? That is how you differentiate. You think scientifically because you're using data. Next to God, please trust data. And that's what the world's top gurus say about it, right? The top successful gurus. So today, please, this is very important. Don't go with opinion. Please go with data. And that's what you can't just opinionist. Say somebody has bought it. Somebody has bought a house here. I think we should buy there because he says this is good. So, but get the data first and then analyze the data, right? And then you take a decision. So there are a few models available called knowledge management model. So you got to make the data right available and then transform the data into an information. The information will help you to transform to a knowledge, and then you'll be very, very, very comfortable to take a decision, which should be definitely right decision. So it also creates a pathway to help you take right decisions. Please understand. This is the greatest value that Six Sigma can bring you, a transformation within you to make sure, enable you to take informed decisions. They use the word informed decision because you're using data as a fundamental component element to make sure that you're able to go through the data-driven approach. Yeah, so this is what towards taking decisions. So this is something which you should also remember, that organization or business or companies today would expect you to be high in analytical thinking, or we talk about more of scientific thinking. All right. So please, this is one way we will help you to prepare you for this. Next one, we have consulted lot and lots of companies today, Godrej or Cadbury's. They all are getting into transformation and they are into automation, right? You being the chemical engineers. So I have worked in few projects through my consultants like Dr. Raj, all that. So they had mosquito repellent coil, right? And the innovation happens there. And somebody says, hey, why is the mosquito coil create smoke? And that's really creates a different perception about it, because there are infants, right? Basically, you use this for babies, newborn babies and stuff. They fear that it may have a suffocation. And why don't we look at it smokeless coils? And that's how the innovation came into picture, right? So Six Sigma will also help you to innovate new ideas. Let me tell you this. So there are a few approaches that Six Sigma has. What you are currently learning is probably at the green belt level is DMAIC is one of the approach towards achieving excellence in the operations, right? Operational excellence. So you got a product or a services which you're going to develop it and then roll it to the customer. That means you already done your R&D part. It's just that design part is over, and just you are getting into the production factory, and then that's where you're going to follow the process. But there is also an approach where you look at it as that there is no data available. That means the product is totally new, but we have an approach towards it. It's called DFSS, Design for Six Sigma. So you always have the opportunity for it to come out with your ideas and transform that into a realistic product, which can become a big hit, right? Nobody expected WhatsApp to be today what it is today, right? So nobody expected that. It was very simple, looks very simple, but definitely they had really visualized, the person has visualized the real need and the challenges and problems that particularly customers are facing it, and made it simple by innovation. So please understand, Six Sigma can also drive innovations. So it's not just you talk about scientific thinking culture, or maybe creates a scientific culture, but it also creates you the innovation path. So please understand, you have room for it, and you can differentiate others with the Six Sigma. The most important thing, Six Sigma is going to help you to analyze the situation, a problem issue, help you to come down to the root cause part. So typically, Six Sigma is also defined as a root cause management methodology or approach. So which you should also understand, it will enable you to achieve the solution and identifying a root cause for that particular issue. So you got to be a root cause, a problem manager in the sense. So problem manager is not the one who creates problems, right? He's going to really solve the problem once for all. And by introducing what we call a breakthrough improvement into it, not just continual improvement, or we call it step-by-step improvement. But that's the key difference the Six Sigma brings you, is to bring you improvement, which is going to be a breakthrough improvement, which is going to be ongoing for quite some time, but you're going to differentiate it, right? So that is Six Sigma, what you should think about it. You should be able to identify the root cause, the techniques, tools that you're going to learn in the Six Sigma methodologies. I'm guarantee you that you're going to apply these tools. These are called weapons, I call it. You carry those weapons, and this is going to make a lot of difference between you and the people just knowing, may not know these techniques, right? You talk about Pareto, you talk about cost effect fishbone diagram, that's okay. These are going to be one of the few techniques, but not many know about it. Even now, I can see the senior managers, I've done a lot of a champions program. They really don't understand the way it should be. There's like Kepner-Trigor, there's many more root cause analysis techniques available in the market, but again, the approach is going to be purely Six Sigma focused. They don't talk about it, but definitely is going to help you out achieving the root cause analysis. And it's also perceived as defect management, defect manager. So Six Sigma is also a defect management system. So I think you're getting the picture where I'm coming to. Six Sigma is going to transform you all. The learnings of Six Sigma are not going to let you down. It's just an approach. I'm telling you, it's not just meant for organization or maybe for manufacturing or only for this. I'm telling you, Six Sigma can be applied to your personal level. So let me confess this today, right? Me and my wife have a lot more arguments after 3 years of a wedding marriage, right? You have a lot more. I have noted down and say what kind of arguments we have and how I can actually minimize that arguments. We used to have more than 100 arguments a month, right? That's the data I have collected it. And to be honest, it's really the lighter side of it. But this is what happened. I just say how Six Sigma can help me out. And trust me, I'm able to reduce it to 11 or 12 in the very next month. by going through the Six Sigma portfolio. So that powerful it is, even need to go to the personal level. So you please understand what your learnings today is not just for the company or organization use, it can be used for your personal level. So please put your commitment, put your interest, be passionate about it. And that is what is important. Throw your attitude here. And that's very important. Put your attitude the right way, because Six Sigma is perceived as one of the good practices today, a framework, a methodology, what do we call it? But I call it methodology today. And one of the best practice methodology today adopted by all manufacturing industry, engineering industry. And rest assured, today, it's not just industry. We talk about manufacturing. We have consulted a lot of service industry today using Six Sigma Lean, replace CMMI, which is basically so-called process excellence methodology. They call it as capability maturity model, but that's basically for developing a software product. But we had gone through Six Sigma approach to give them better return on investment and showed them how we can probably manage the bugs. We call defects in manufacturing, we call software bugs in software. And we had consulted SAP, HP, Philips, I mean, a lot more, Alcatel, Lucent, and a lot more. Sorry, I don't remember that much, but there are a lot more companies benefited out of it, right? So the Six Sigma can be applied to any industry. Don't ever keep that. It is industry agnostic, right? It can be applied to manufacturing, services industry, and most importantly, IT industry, ICT. And nobody believed it, and we proved it. Including Motorola never had it unless they brought in DFSs. Until they brought in DFSs methodology, we blended DFSs with another one called DMA-DV approach, which is basically when you are developing a product and that you think the product is looking good, TV is working fine at your place, when it goes to the customer is facing some issues, and you collect those information and they say, why the hell is it? It was good. Why is it coming here? The issues are coming. And you realize that it is something to do with the design related issues. So initially the issue is on the design side of it. So how do you integrate the design and the operations today? That's another area that you need to look at it. So there are multiple approaches that Six Sigma can bring you in. The multiple methodologies are available, but you should probably be prepared to understand each of them. But Six Sigma today is actually seen as an business analytics. So you are going to be a data scientist, and they really position you as a data scientist in the organization. So be proud. If you are black belt, be proud to say that I'm a data scientist. The data science is an ocean, but you are still going through Six Sigma black belt can really put you to the level called data scientist, and people recognize that to you. All right. So these are the few things which I thought I should probably express it. And the Six Sigma focus, I told you about the focus. What Six Sigma focuses on, quality. That's what people think. But I said, what is quality? By definition, meeting expectations. So make sure that you are able to define the CTQs clearly and make sure that you are able to fulfill those CTQs. And that means you have delivered value. The customer, end of the day, expect value. Then when you're able to deliver that value, meeting the expectations, that means you have fulfilled the need of the customer, and the customer satisfaction level is actually enhanced or maintained at the level what is expected, right? So, and Six Sigma focuses on problem solving, and that's where by identifying the root cause, that's another area that you should look at. It is root cause analysis. So you can be a great project manager for this. And Six Sigma focuses also to develop scientific culture within the organization. All right, be prepared. And you can proudly say that want to be part of, be the cultural transformation, and I want to develop or probably help your team members develop scientific thinking, and I want to take decision based on data. And these are the things which you should start using it right now. The protocol has to change, the language has to change as a Six Sigma profession, right? So the focus is going to be more on automation too, which Six Sigma is going to be there. You heard about RPA, robotic process automation. So the industries are going to be more on focusing on that today to make sure that the processes which are identified for automation and use technology to automate it, but to identify those processes for automation and make sure the process is clean and things, they need you. They need people like you. So there is enough opportunity for you guys. Don't ever feel that you are just going to come out with some solution on chemical or whatever, but you are also going to be playing a leadership role. So one important message before I want to do, Six Sigma focus is also to develop leadership skills, and most importantly, cost leadership skills. Please remember, you will be seen as a cost leader within the organization. You don't need to be 20 years experience, 30 years. Now Even the university graduate which came out fresher can also be spotted as a leader as long as he identifies the area where he can improve and make a huge impact on the cost of operations or cost of maintenance or cost of rework. We call it rework for any maintenance, which can impact any of the cost within this. It can be within your own institution where you are today, Indian Institute of Chemical Engineering. There you could have probably observed some processes which you may be sure of improving it. Put it in your project bank, and probably if you have an opportunity, do it using Six Sigma. Not necessarily it should be mapped to your chemical engineering related, but you can also use it as a next project, probably to demonstrate your capabilities on improvement, right? So that is something you can contribute to the institute from your side, and you'll be really, really remembered. Let me introduce that. If you're able to do some automation, or you can do certain things which can make a huge impact for the institutes, maybe it could be the admission process, it could be in the hostel side of it, or it could be something to do with saving costs in the maintenance of the hostel. Anything can be a project. And one important thing, if you have a problem and if you have a solution, don't ever consider as a Six Sigma project. Look for those issues, the problem which doesn't have a solution, maybe multiple solution, but you don't know what the right solution is. So go through the Six Sigma mode, right? This is very important. So we talk about that focus. And I have told you why Six Sigma for you, an organization. As an individual, you please remember, this is very, very important. Lean Six Sigma is definitely going to create specialized skills for you. One is scientific thinking, I told you, and also going to make a lot of difference the way you're going to look at the issues or problems, right? So you're going to look at it from a scientific way, right? You're going to analyze the data in a scientific way. That's how statistics is all about, right? How many people use statistics thing? You think they just go with it and say, I think, I guess, and this is what it is. I think this is what I've seen this people doing it. That's why I think this could be. Or I go with instinct. Instinct, only police officers can do that, because that's also through training, right? And trust me, today's police officers are going through Six Sigma tools and techniques today. When something happens, some really bad thing happens, they really don't know how to get into the root cause. What is the root cause? It could be multiple reasons, but they really need to use Six Sigma tools and techniques to get into that, probably the solution area for that. So please understand, for you, it's going to gain a lot of credibility as a Six Sigma certified. You're going to bring in the next level of professionalism and also trust and relationship with the organization as a leader. And that is there, you're going to be a future leader. Trust me this, because this is very essential no matter what. You may IT guy, you may non-IT guy, you may be chemical engineer, electrical engineer, civil engineer. No, you have opportunities everywhere to improve, but it's the way you're going to discipline yourself, build your aptitude in the way you're going to do things. It's a reflection of Six Sigma certification, right? So for the organization, definitely we look for people like you. An organization always look for cost cutting, cost leadership. They want to save money, but they don't want to remove the people out. But at least if there's anything that we can do without removing the people out of the company, rather, is there anything that we can improve? Is what organizations always look for. Look for some people who can contribute, can deliver value. That is what you are here for with Six Sigma, right? So with the Six Sigma skills, you can do wonder. I told you most of them. I think I covered most of the things. But one important message I'm going to talk about, your skills are there. It's not about talking about the car or Ferrari or Rolls Royce or whatever I call. But my question today, or companies will ask you, it's okay, I have heard enough about these cars, but can you drive this car? Is what the first question they will ask you today. So similarly, Six Sigma, I heard about, don't talk about Six Sigma methodology, but you talk about, can you solve the problem and ensure the company can come out of this issue? And how fast can you do this is what they're going to ask you. And that is where you're going to be there as a Six Sigma professional, and you can make a difference to it. Please prepare yourself for that. Make sure you learn the skills, develop the skills, learn the techniques, and develop the skills and demonstrate it. I hope I'm so far is okay, but I think due to the time constraint, I'm sorry, I have to get into another Dubai call in an hour's time. So I have promised something for them, but I'll take 2 minutes for you guys, and I'll withdraw. Now this is what it is. I think I still have to talk to you about QTNT, the way it gets certified, but QTNT certifications are in place with all the top major corporates who are our customers today. They recognize because our approach towards the entire training is project-driven approach, or typically application-driven approach. That means when we demonstrate something, we also help you to do exercises, demonstrate the exercises, and also make you do the exercises. You actually apply what you're learning. So that makes a lot of difference between in what others do and things. But this is going to really help. It's like driving car. You don't just learn about the car, maybe it's simulation, but you're going to really drive the car, right? That's the feel you have. And by the time you complete your green belt, a black belt, you will be really realizing that you are very different. The transformation already in place. So to get your Six Sigma green belt, you got to attend the workshop. We recommend 100% attendance, but I know for some reason they may not, but at least minimum 75% attendance. But 100% you need to complete all the exercises that we give. But the reasons behind it, there definitely I will not accept, at least I will not accept if you're not completing all the exercises. So this is a must. Whether you do it in an individual group, but we want to make sure that you complete it. And that's a discipline that we expected. And most of the candidates, I mean, talk about thousands of people out there. Everybody has done that. And completing all the assignments in the workshop is the key. But there is an exam, of course, for green belt. It's not going to be very tough. It's like, you know, you're going to break one break, right? That's what green belt is. And karate is all about. So you're going to learn minimal tools and techniques, but they are equally powerful to at least for the role that you're going to play as a fresher and experience. So here you're going to score 60% in the exam, which you're going to get about 50 questions. You got to score 60%. Simple, right? Minimum, because that is going to be straightforward, objective type questions, but be more relevant to what you learned related to. So it's not going to be out of syllabus or whatever I call it, but it'll some of the question will make you think, and that's important, right? And of course, black belt workshop people who are going to do, so you got to attend the black belt workshop. Again, the same thing, complete all the exercises, you know, assignments. There will be some assignments apart from just simple exercises, of course, we call it. You got to complete that. You got to score 70% exam of the training. But this training will be through a tool called Minitab, and we use Minitab extensively. But otherwise, even for green belt, Excel will do to some extent. But Minitab is an amazing tool. But you can't afford to have that, so that's why we use Excel for green belt. But Minitab, when you go for black belt, we can always help you out demonstrating using Minitab. You got to complete one project. Where the green belt doesn't demand for a project, but it's good to have. It's good, not a must. But definitely for once black belt, you need to complete one Six Sigma project. Don't worry about it. All that is, you need to find out an issue or problem around you, and you can probably list all those and come to us, and probably Master Black Belt will help you how to probably select the right project for you as a black belt. And we will handhold you, coach you until you complete it. And you have, of course, those are the things which will definitely be a part of the entire journey, right? But you need to complete it. You can't just go away from that. So once you complete the project, so once you are done with the first three, in principle, you get your black belt certificate. But this is something which you need to complete to get project certificate. And this is really a must if you really want to get into an organization with better perception. So obviously, we give a project certificate, which will be a part of black belt. You need to complete it. It could be a group or an individual, doesn't matter to us, but definitely you need to complete it. And then you have to present the project. So we want to understand, because there are a lot of soft skill part included in this, because of the leadership skills. When you talk about it, you got to really communicate well. And the same, it's not just spoken communication, it's all the way you present it, right? So important. So you need to present the project, and obviously there'll be an interview post that. It's Viva Voice, or you call it whatever in your school, but it's just an interview to check on how you able to complete this project, you know, and what made it. It's just the interaction between the so-called the Master Black Belt and you guys, or maybe the committee we have for the review, right? So this is about the Master Black Belts. I think probably I don't need to talk much about it. It's not the time now. So you guys focus on green belt, black belt, and prerequisites could be yellow belts. So obviously yellow belt is a starter kit, and it just start the foundation level, and then you go for the green belt, and then you can go for the black belt. Master Black Belts is going to be even more complicated, because you need to complete 2 Six Sigma projects, and you got to demonstrate it. And of course, you have to show the tangible annual savings in a project of $500,000 minimum, right, per project. So this is important. That fulfills the so-called requirement for Master Black Belt. All right. So if you really have to have a feel of how the certificate of achievement looks like, the green belts that we have been issuing for worldwide, and this is one of the specimen that I can probably look at it. So you get all the certificate in this format, and it's basically the entire thing is aligned to the ASQ body of knowledge. But we have a little bit more customization, because you don't need to learn certain things which probably you're overdoing things, right? We try to prepare it more in a customized mode, and we focus more on the exercises and project, so that you're able to apply the skills in the industry. That's how we differentiate QTNT. And all the corporate trainings we did, or the individuals, we have delivered training to Goa Institute of Management, we've done for Great Lakes and many few more institutions. Sorry, I don't remember off late. I don't know, but we have done in India. I'm talking about. Otherwise, outside India, we done for Malaysia. We have a lot more schools, institutions we have done. They all have certain requirements which is customizable, and we have done that. Right. So this is how we run the journey. And sorry, this is what I have to share. But please keep in mind, right? Six Sigma is not just about managing the variations. Please, Six Sigma is all about creating scientific culture and developing leadership skills. Let me congratulate you once again. You all be part of this journey of excellence. And this is definitely going to make a lot of transformation within yourself and make a big difference in the industry when you step out of the industry. All right. So with this note, I would like to thank you all for the patience. Hope I was not too fast. I believe you were able to probably hear me loud and clear. And thank you very much. I think I appreciate Dr. Rajagopal and Mr. Saxena. I'm sorry I'm not able to connect him before the call. But I think Mr. Dawal Saxena was in here and I saw him leaving while I was presenting. But yeah, thank you for organizing this, Aditi, and yeah, all.
Hello, Vasudevan sir. Mr. Dawal Saxena has joined, so he would like to.
Yes, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Vasudevan, actually I joined through my mobile, but how the network issue was there. I'm in Vizag right now. So
oh, you're in Vizag. Right. No worries. So Dr. Rajko was updating me on your movement. Yeah, it's okay, no problem. So anyway, you have been there, and it's delighted. I'm really delighted to be part of this today. And thank you for the organizers. Done a good job. And the only thing
should thank on behalf of IICHE, Rajagopalan sir, everyone and the entire students, because we all know QTNT and giving the right track, because most of there are misguiding people are more in the world rather than giving the right guidance what has to be done. So I'm really obliged sir, you joined with such a short notice and also agreed to give special things to IICHE members, student members,
Will
and
do.
all fraternity in India, specifically all IICHE members. So it will be great, sir, and we are really looking forward to go for the accredited certified courses also with QTNT, and I'm really thankful that you have accepted that to support IICHE as a social organization.
No, it's my pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah, thank you. No problem. So I've been doing this in and out, but I'm really honored. Let me tell you the way around. I'm really honored to be part of this. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you.
Rajagopal sir, and I hope everyone had a good.
Thank you.
Because there is a things going on. I mean, many of the concepts may have cleared. Things on that, what kind of Lean Six Sigma is going, accredited course, what is the difference, and everything. So, we had a good session. I think I was
excellent.
There
yeah, I just want them to be. Yeah, sure. All that I want is to be prepared for the transformation for Industry 4.2. That's the message I want to give with them. Right? Don't take industry light today, and things are changing. So I'm really thanks. I know your students are going to be very bright, and I know they are. It's not easy. I'm really more than happy to help. And Dr. Raj, and trust me, you are in the safe hands with Dr. Rajagopal. I can tell you that based on this. All right. So with this, I'll take a leave. I have to join another session very soon, and thank you all students, and thank you for your patience. I know we are big 82 participants, not a joke. And thanks for it. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Raj. Wonderful evening. Yeah. Bye.
So, Dhaval sir, thank you. I know your network was not, since still you have joined. So we have covered some major parts of measure phase today. So I said them that measure phase will have another 1 or 2 sessions. So we can plan very well. Next week we can plan 2 sessions if you want, because next week I'm going to Kanpur for Lokia Group. There is a consultancy assignment, so I'll be going to Kanpur. So it is better we have next week 2 programs in next week.
Sir, we will like to, sir, please take one session of Minitab also. How we can use it?
See, Minitab, I can, if you want Minitab first, we can do it. But I think we will go step by step. Let us
Yes, sir.
open Instagram. So
No
Minitab,
problem.
I will explain you Minitab during the session, as well as we can have a separate Minitab session. Okay, no problem.
No problem, sir. Okay.
Before Minitab, you should know what is
Okay.
different kinds of tools.
Yeah. Actually, here, sir, the project is now assigned to yellow belt students. So 3 topics are decided. One is related to water, one is one that Pale biscuit, and one more is there, I think. So they will be going ahead with the project. So
Okay.
that the total that CTQ define and everything can be. Reports will also be prepared.
Okay.
So that we are going to start. So I think the next week when you are saying, so then based on the project, I think the guidance will be given directly by
Sure.
you. So it will help them to complete their project
Right.
directly. So the details will be shared, sir, with you, like the
Sure.
green belt, black belt projects and the yellow belt students, what they are doing as a sample project like that.
Okay.
And we need to complete things around before first week of October, like because by 7th October they need to submit their final reports. Like that
So
it
we'll
is.
do one
So I
thing.
think we are fair.
Next week we will put
Go
more
ahead.
time. Next week we'll put more
Yeah,
time.
no problem. I think we are in a good place. Not a problem.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I think
Thank
we
you.
are ending
Thanks
the
a lot.
session.
Yeah, we are ending the session.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Thanks a
Rajagopal,
lot.
sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks all for patience, and I
And
think it was value added.
right. Value added. Yes. So also it will be live YouTube now stream. So
Okay, thank you. Right.
we can share it with
Right.
Vasudevan as well. Okay.
Sure. I'll share it.